What's good, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's halfway through 2025, and so I am gonna hop on the bandwagon and tell you about all the books that I've read this year. I have apparently attempted to read 43 books this year, 44 as of last night, actually. But I won't put it on this list because it's not fair. 44 books this year, and out of all those books, here's my unofficial tier list. My thoughts about these books may change depending on the books that I read later on this year. Maybe some books will make certain books look better or worse. I don't know. But as of right now, these are my unofficial light thoughts. They're intro thoughts light. All right, let's get into this tier list right now, right this minute. Am I wearing a different shirt? Yes, I am. Don't worry about that. Let's get into it. So the tiers that we have are you have to read this now. I liked it. One time read. Don't read this. I'm serious. Don't read this. Current reads, books that I'm currently reading and I haven't finished yet, but I do want to finish this year. And book that I have soft or hard DNF'd. So that should be plenty for right now. And then we'll do a more standard starred, like big wow massive tier list at the end of the year for all the books that I end up reading. I'm really hoping it's over 100. That was my goal this year. Actually, 75 was my goal this year. I'm at 46, 45, 44. That number just keeps going down. It's not good. Let's start with Ghost of Rheynia. You should read this right now. So, if you're into heavily layered, emotional, dark, grim, gory books, fantasy books, emotionally challenging books, I would read Ghost of Rheynia. This is by author Tim Fasciola. I read it as part of a book club earlier this year. It was, or end of last year, finished it this year technically, so I put it into my 2025 reads, and it was great. It was a great experience. First time doing a book club, and then reading this book along with people who are actually really dope. Fuck yeah. Shine me up. Okay, shine me up. Okay, not shine. Sign me up. Okay. So Ghost of Rheynia was great. You should read this now. If you want my thoughts on it, I've talked about it at least 4 times already. But if you want more thoughts on it, let me know. I'll make yet another video for you. Just for you. All right, next ones. Ooh, you need to read this now. You have to read this right now. Right this minute. Go to your local Amazon, Kindle Unlimited, local bookstore, wherever they're sold. Go to michaelrmiller.com. Go to thebrokenbinding.com. I don't know. I'm not sponsored by any of this. I just need you to read this fucking book so Michael R. Miller can make more books. That's all I need. That's all I need you to do is to read this series so he can keep making his books. Book 4 of this series is coming out in September, and I'm crashing out only because I can't read it in September. I have to read it in November. Either that, or I take a day off from work and just read this entire book and don't work. That's the only way I'm reading this book. Because I know for a fact when I open it, I'm not putting it down. I know for a fact when I open it, I'm not putting it down. This is my favorite series of 2025, guys. It's my favorite series of 2025. It has it's a modern classic fantasy quest feel. The twists and turns that you would expect from a more modern fantasy book, but has a classic quest feel of like, we must go here and do this thing. And then we get sidetracked with side quests. So there's main quests and then we have side quests. And the cast of characters are so good, so fun, emotional. There's definitely character development in a good way, in my opinion. And it has everything I need. It literally has everything. And the magic system is so fucking cool, too. The magic system is so fucking cool. Okay. So anyways, that is Ascendant, Unbound, and Defined. Michael R. Miller's Songs of Chaos series. I definitely think you should read this now. So I apologize for my crash out right there. Okay. So the Dragonblood Assassin series by Andy Peliquin and Jamie Castle. I liked it. I loved everywhere it went. It didn't land the way I was hoping for. And I didn't really like it. I'll be honest with you, I didn't really like it. I did not really like it. And it's okay. It's okay. But I think the entire 4-book journey up until that ending was actually really good. The main characters, Matisse and Cullen, were great. their dragons Umbrus and Golgoth were great. The supporting cast was hit or miss. Most of the time it hit. A couple of them missed. We go. It's like it's more or less self-contained in this one kingdom, but there are a couple of times when they fly out to an island, to a neighboring ruling body, whatever it is. So it's not like super. It's like it's not an epic fantasy. It's definitely like a fantasy, but it has a bit of an epic fantasy feel to it, although it's more or less confined to one kingdom region area. You know what I mean? So that was dope. That was cool. I think you should read it. And I think that you should go over to the End Goal podcast, the podcast that I do, and it's about life, not books, and watch the video that I did with Andy Pelican when it comes out in 1 week. 1-star romance. Don't read this. I don't think it's worth your time. It really wasn't that great. This is another book like You Again, where it's a romance that spans multiple fated encounters over, not fated encounters, but multiple encounters over years until they end up together at the end. It was better than You Again. I'm gonna be honest. It was better than You Again. It just wasn't good to me. It wasn't good to me. I didn't like it, but I finished it. The premise is that this woman is a struggling author trying to write a book, and she ends up writing a really great, amazing book that benefits off of satirically making fun of her best friend's husband. Said best friend's husband's best friend, who is the guy here, he leaves a 1-star review on her book, and she finds out, and then there's just like a little bit of like tension between them that spans multiple years until she finally confronts like her best friend, the husband, and this guy of like, yeah, I did it. You know what? I should not have, but I did end up doing it, and I'm sorry. You know? So it definitely does do well about talking about an artist's struggle and not in a glorified way, which I did appreciate. Still didn't like it. So I wouldn't read this. I don't think it's worth reading, but up to you. Funny story. I would read this once. I liked it, but I would only read it once because my first ever Emily Henry book was Book Lovers, and I absolutely adored it, loved it. It was so funny, and so funny. Yet, like the comedy wasn't childish. It was a bit more grown up comedy, and I appreciated that. But the overall book was just more of a comedic romance, like a rom-com feel. This one felt more like a more somber rom-com feel, where that was more like uplifting rom-com feel. Funny story is not that much of a funny story. It's just more of a story that has funny moments that it just didn't land for me. I thought it was good, but it just didn't land for me. We're skipping all of these that say Arcanist in it, by the way. We'll save that for the end. The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. See, okay. This is really bad timing for when I'm recording this because Ali Hazelwood just got chased off the internet by absolute idiots on the internet who misconstrued something she said and then yelled at her about it in all of her Instagram comments. She deactivated her Instagram because she didn't know how to turn off comments. She just deactivated her Instagram. She was like, I don't want to deal with these people right now. She's fine, but I don't want to deal with these people right now. What's that story? Just go over on TikTok. You'll see it everywhere. Go over on Bookstagram. You'll see it everywhere. You don't have to get it from me. But yeah, so I'm not adding any fuel to the fire. I'm just saying I didn't like the Love Hypothesis. That's all I'm saying. I just didn't like the Love Hypothesis. Okay. And the only reason is I thought the premise was really stupid. Okay. What do you mean that you, as a research student, are fake dating this professor just so that your best friend can date your ex, but because the best friend won't date your ex because of girl code, now you have to do this fake relationship so the best friend thinks you're in a real relationship, so the best friend can actually be like date the man that she wants, and the ex also likes the best friend, like it, and then the best friend's constantly egging her on of like, oh, you two are together. Well, why don't you do these things? Why don't you do these things? And I'm like, fuck you. First of all, best friend, fuck you. And then the second of all, Olive, come on. Be real, right? Be real. So, yeah, that was the Love Hypothesis. No, given I would not mind trying another Ali Hazelwood book next year. I would not mind trying another Ali Hazelwood book next year. You just let me know which one. That's about it. You just let me know which one and I'll do it. Of Blood and Fire, as of right now, I'm not planning on continuing the series. I'm really not. Like, I have no reason to. I have so many other books I want to read, and nothing about this series is really like, oh, you should read this thing right now, kind of thing. Nothing about this series is telling me that. Now, are people saying that? Yes, I think Jeff from Jeff's Bookshelf talks about this a bit, and I've heard him talk about it before. I think he likes it, and I know a lot of people also like it. I was yelled at on Twitter about it before. I'm just not feeling it. I'll be honest, I'm just not feeling it. So one day I will pick it back up. Maybe when the entire series is done, I'll just pick it back up. But I found much more success in Black Talon, the Dark Blood Assassin series, and the Songs of Chaos series for me when I was reading all these books. So I will pick up the Bound and the Broken at some other point in time, just not right now. But the book was good. I did enjoy Callan. I think it's Callan, Wrist, and some other person that starts with a D. I can't remember his name. I enjoyed the trio. I enjoyed the classic fantasy trio of the warrior, the archer, and the mage. That was cool. That was a cool setup. I don't know where it's going, and I'm assuming it's gonna be emotionally wrecking for a lot of people. But I think it's cool. You know what I mean? So it's I'm not never gonna read the series. I'm just gonna probably read it this year again. The Crimson Fire by Abel Montero. I liked it. I know my review of it was very technical, and I don't feel bad about it, but I liked it. I think it was good. I'm looking forward to book 2. I will read book 2 when it does release, because I'm curious to see if it improves from book 1. And that's about it. That's about it. It was developmentally not the best, not in the way that I preferred. Not the best, but not in the way that I preferred. And that's it. I think it's good though. I think you should give Abel Montero's book a shot. I think he has some really good things in that book and in his brain for future books. Not sponsored. Monster Tamer Academy. That I don't read this. It's literally like it's literally Pokemon the Fantasy, and I don't think it's worth your time as a lit RPG enthusiast. I mean, unless you're a lit RPG enthusiast, I don't think it's worth your time. I think there's other lit RPGs out there that are much more worth your time, aka Seth Ring, but I don't think this one specifically is worth your time. Wait. Okay, we're back. So I had somehow forgotten to put 5 more books on this list. I've officially attempted to read 50 books this year, which is crazy that it's the middle of the year and we're at 50. Let's go. Fist pump in the air, and we will get to those books when we do. But I'm so thankful that I didn't forget them. So let's keep it rolling, right? We were talking about Monster Tamer Academy for lit RPG enthusiasts. Check it out. It's a really easy read for non-lit RPG enthusiasts trying to get into lit RPG. This is not your entry point. Don't try it. Next one, System Universe. I DNF'd this after the first 10 minutes of reading it. It just wasn't rocking for me, and I didn't even attempt it. That's all I have to say about that. Miss Percy's Pocket Guide to Training a Dragon. I don't like historical English prose. That's just it. I don't like it. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't like it. I can't read it. It takes a lot of brain power to read. It doesn't really just like flow in and out and like sink into my brain and all that shit. So I just don't like it. And I realized that's what this Miss Percy's series was. Even though I have the full series, I am probably gonna hard DNF it up until the point when I can actually read historical British prose. I just can't do it. It just doesn't read well to me. Somehow I read the first book of the Terra series, but that was also like a slow getting through it. So saving the Arcanist, saving this one for a different time. Deva Shastri's Last Day. I'm trying to read this one right now. I got through like a little bit of it, hoping it would like knock me out of my book slump. It hasn't, so I will try to finish it this year. I just don't know when I will. Maybe it'll be like a July finish or something. The Wedding People. You should read this now. And I really liked The Wedding People. I was just talking to a friend about it today, literally before recording this, because she read it. She rated it 3 stars, and I asked her why, and she said, the premise was a bit novel. The premise was a bit new. It was enjoyable, but she felt like the characters were a bit flat, and there wasn't much character development across the board. And so it felt a little bit less engaging that way. And while I agree with her, I think the reason that I liked it more, disregarding the fact that the characters weren't super developed, like the supporting cast of characters weren't super developed, is that I liked that Alison Edgepatch wrote the book in a way that made me feel like it was okay to laugh at certain more sensitive issues. Adultery, unaliving gone wrong, all these like different things. There's a couple of more in there, like mental things, mental issue type things. But it felt like she was giving me permission saying it's okay to laugh. I'm presenting the story to you in a way that's it's okay to laugh. It's dark humor in a bit, as a bit, but it's okay to laugh. And I at least appreciated that, and I didn't feel as uncomfortable reading the book. I actually enjoyed reading the book. Divine Rivals. What do I say about Divine Rivals? I intended to read Divine Rivals as a way to not hate read specifically, not hate read, but I read it in a way that I thought, okay, it can't be as good as people are saying, right? This was one of the first books that I read this year that I was like, it can't be that good, right? Read Divine Rivals now. It's so good. Oh my god, this romance between Roman C. Kit and Iris Winnow. Remember the names. you gotta clap for me because I remember them goddamn names. The story here is so good. It's like romance with a fantasy subplot as opposed to fantasy with a romance subplot, and I actually liked it a lot. Their chemistry is intriguing. The overall lore of like what like they're in a wartime state right now, and the overall lore as to why that war is happening is actually intriguing. And then magical typewriters. Yeah. This shit was so gas. It was so good. It was so good. It was like one of the best books I read back in February. Heartless Hunter. No. Don't do it. Don't do it. This is once again witch hunter hunts witch. Witch tries to get witch hunter to fall in love with her to then avoid the witch hunt. And it was done so badly. Like none of the characters in this story were interesting at all except for the witch hunter in like 3 chapters. That's about it. 3 chapters and that's it. So I was like, this is not enjoyable. This is not enjoyable for me. I don't know if it was enjoyable for you, but it was not enjoyable for me. And I've read witch hunter type stories before. This one just wasn't it for me. It wasn't it for me. I did not like it. Dead of Shadows, don't read this. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I had to say this. This book has so many issues. It has so many issues. It's all over the place. There's no pacing, no development. Everything is just happening. And even up until the end, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This makes no sense. And it's a series. According to my wife, who's in the hospital right now, because she's a podiatrist, she just told me that she just saw a fresh baby out of the womb. Yay for life. Let's celebrate life. I will respond to her later. But anyways, going back to the Thread of Shadows, it was so bad. I'm not afraid to say that it was. Now the baby's crying. Okay, so it was so bad. It was the Thread of Shadows was not good in my opinion. I will not be continuing that series. I can't imagine anything coming out of that series that's gonna like save how bad book 1 was. The Color of Dragons, I liked it. I would recommend this book to everybody who's trying to get into fantasy. or is looking for a good standalone fantasy novel, I think The Color of Dragons is very good. It basically has all the pieces in some way of a decent fantasy. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's massive. I don't think it's amazing, but I think it's good. And I would recommend it to people who are one trying to get into fantasy, standalone fantasy, or two, if you're already into fantasy and you want a standalone fantasy book, Color of Dragons. I just zoned out for a second. Ruthless Vows. I'm still trying to read it. I tried to start it, maybe back in like March or April. I don't remember now. Only. So what happened was I was at Target, right? And this was after I'd read Divine Rivals, and I looked at Ruthless Vows, and I was like, I'm gonna want to read this at some point. Divine Rivals was so gas. I'm gonna want to read this at some point, so I just picked it up. That's it. I just picked it up. Um, and so I tried to open it and read it, and as you do a book, you have to open it to read it, and it just didn't hit the same as Divine Rivals, and I think it's because that's where the story was going, where Iris and Roman are split and trying to find their way back to each other in some way, but Roman has memory loss. Um, it wasn't hitting the same, and I think it felt a bit tropey and a bit generic right now, where Ruthless Vows how it starts, and so I didn't really want to continue reading it. So for right now, it's on a soft DNF because I think I will still continue to read. Actually, it is a soft DNF for now. Like I might wait until next February for my month of romance reading to pick it up then. That's probably what I'll do. A Song of Legends Lost by M.H. Allende. I'm reading this book right now. I tried to get through it, but once part 4 hit and they introduced a new character at like the second half of the book, I was like, I can't do this right now. Mentally, I can't. I'm in a book slump trying to read this book, and I made it all the way to like 60% of the book, and then you do that to me. You do that to me. It didn't. It wasn't happening. It was not happening. My brain like shut off. It's good. The book is actually really fucking good. It gives me like Beasts of Prey, Ayana Gray mixed with what's her name? Andrea Stewart like storytelling. It's really fucking good. I just couldn't get through it because I'm in a book slump right now, and that's why. Cello's Gate is actually kind of gas. It's like low key gas. Still reading it, still trying to get through it. It's basically I picked up a set of books that I was like, I'm in a book slump. Let me just open these books and see if I like them. And I open and close like all of these books that are on my current readings list to see if I could get through them, and I couldn't get through any of them. So I'm still in a book slump, and I'm still trying to get out of it. But Cello's Gate, the first 100 pages that I read, really good. I actually do fuck with it. Sons of Darkness is on that list of current reads that I haven't continued through because I need 120% brain power to read it, and I currently don't have 120% brain power to give it. So that will be at a different time. Yo, the Phoenix King, read this shit right now, and then go read it, post a review about it, and then wherever you post it, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or X, tag the author, tell them what you thought about the book, and it better be good. And then tell them Entro sent you. Let's engineer a little bit of this, okay? Because I really, really want to read book 2, The Burning Queen, and I need y'all to let her know that I have influence on you and that I recommend good books to y'all. So I need y'all to let her know that Entro sent you. Okay? Anytime I recommend you a book and you read it and you tag the author in the review, just tell them Entro sent you. Just do that. Just tell them Entro sent you. That's about it. Okay? Entro sent you. That's all he had to say. So The Phoenix King is a really good sci-fi fantasy, sci-fi mixed with fantasy. They're both in the book. Blasters mixed with firebending. Sci-fi fantasy, slow burn political fantasy about an assassin turned bodyguard, a tyrant father king, and a bit of a upstart princess turned queen. Those are the 3 main characters. I adore them. The father was my favorite in this book. His actions really spoke to me. Didn't agree with them, but they spoke to me. I understood them. And my book club co-host and I, Tim Fasciola, we actually interviewed her on TikTok for 2 hours one night. And I hope that we can post the footage. I actually have to go download the last 40 minutes of it. before I forget. And that was just so good. It was so the book was so good. The conversation with her is so good. It got me so much more excited to read The Burning Queen. And yeah, that was that. I'm currently working on a Phoenix King project, by the way, and I have permission from Aparna Verma to use Elena and Yesun as part of the project, and well, stay tuned for that. Okay, next one, Onyx Storm. I liked it, and I think you should read it. Listen. When it comes to guilty pleasures, I have said this and I will say this. Fourth Wing is just my guilty pleasure book. It is simply my 5-star guilty pleasure book when it comes to guilty pleasures. I don't read anything else. I don't read anything else in the trash romantasy space. But Fourth Wing is my guilty pleasure book. Okay? And I think Onyx Storm is better than Iron Flame. And I do understand that having to read Fourth Wing and think it's so good, getting into Iron Flame and like, holy shit, this is so bad. What happened? You have to get through Iron Flame to get to Onyx Storm. Rebecca Yarros fixes so many things in Onyx Storm. It's good. There are still plot holes. There's pacing issues, all that stuff. And one day we will deconstruct why that is. But I think I need you to know Onyx Storm is still good. Really good. I really enjoyed it. Gets a little bit repetitive, but I really enjoyed it. Nova Terra Titan is one of the ones that I opened and closed immediately because of my book slump. It just wasn't working, but I want to get to it. An Ornithologist Field Guide to Love. The book cover is so beautiful and gorgeous. Can I show y'all it? I don't know where my copy of it is, but the actual book cover is so good. It has like a gold foil inlay and everything. It's so beautiful. It's so boring. God damn it. Why? Why was that book so boring? I DNF'd it. It was a similar English British prose, and I couldn't read it. I DNF'd it earlier than I DNF'd Miss Percy's because I was like, you know what? I already know I don't like this, and I'm not going to continue it. I have other books to read. I'm not going to continue it. Bane of Asgard. This is a soft DNF. Hear me out, right? I'm a Cinda Williams Chima fanboy. I'm a Chima fanboy. We know this. There's a shelf right there that explains it all. Like, we know this, right? I'm a fanboy. But the books of Chima that I fell in love with, which is the YA casual, comical, enjoyable, fun ones, are not what she's now writing. Each series progressively has gotten much more serious, less casual, higher prose, less casual prose, less comedy, more serious tones, and all that stuff. I'm just not enjoying the Runestone Saga right now. I'm just not enjoying it. I'm hoping that when I do revisit it, I'll revisit books, I'll revisit it from the beginning and read it. Maybe I'll think differently. But right now, I'm not enjoying it. And it's kind of sad. Divine Summons. I read this. Don't read it. With all due respect, I just didn't think it was a good book. I think there were, once again, developmental issues in it. There was a lot of open-ended things in it that just didn't make sense. It's very small. It's like this big. Like this big of a book. It's like a couple 100 pages and that's about it. And I just I wasn't feeling it. I read the entire thing. I have a review out on it. Didn't land. It just didn't land for me. Maybe it would land for you, but it didn't land for me. Oh my God. Is it The Lost Story? Yes. Oh my gosh. We have to talk about Meg Schaffer, guys. I think Meg Schaffer is like one of my favorite authors of all time. And I've only read The Wishing Game and The Lost Story. I genuinely think Meg Schaffer is one of my favorite authors of all time. And I've only read those 2 books from her. Lost Story was so good, though. I'm tearing up right now. The Lost Story was so good, though. I don't know what to say about it. It's like literal and figurative found family meets Chronicles of Narnia. And I loved it so much. I liked Wishing Game a little bit more, but I couldn't compare these two. I just love them so much. I love Meg Schaffer's stories. I love her writing. Standalone book. Oof. So good. I'm thinking back to my time reading it. It was so good. And I think I need to pick up another Meg Schaffer. I think every year I have to pick up at least one Meg Schaffer book if she has enough for me to pick up one every year. If she doesn't, Meg Schaffer, I need you to write more books so I can read one a year. for the rest of my life. Next one is I'm currently reading Benedict Patrick's Card Mage Tournament Top Decker, which is book 2. Book 1 was Card Mage Slum Dock Deck Builder. I don't know why I do it like that. I think because Tournament Top Decker just sounds fun to do say like that. This is the book that's getting me out of my reading slump. It is. This is the book that's actually getting me out of my reading slump. And I'm fucking with it so heavy. So heavy. It's basically, if you're wondering what is this book like? It's basically Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds meets. No, it's essentially Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Kid from the slums is trying to battle his way out of the slums. Except kid from the slums is trying to battle his way out of the slums to go find his brother, who left them years ago. After his dad, what's it called? After his dad stole his cards. Man ain't shit. I had no reason to say that. I actually had no reason to say that. I'm loopy as fuck right now. I had no reason to say that. But I love Card Mage. I love this series. I just love the way it's like so easily written for a card enthusiast, like a card battle enthusiast, card collector. And I think it combines a lot of good details of fantasy. And at some point when I do make a video on this series specifically, I will go into so much depth, I promise you, that you will hate me. But I hope Benedict Patrick enjoys what I say about the book. I love the book so much. Okay, we got to talk about these last 3 and then we'll talk about these 13. Don't you ever fucking pick up this book. If you are a fan of this channel and a fan of me and a fan of what we do here, don't you dare pick up this book. I still question why this book was written in the way that it was. Listen, right? So Insatiable is an erotic, dark romance. Arish, why would you ever read this book? It's so unlike all the other books you read on this. Yes, it is. It is 100% unlike all the books I read on this on this list. So what happened in May? I was like, yo, TikTok, what are your favorite books of all time? Somebody recommended me this. And a lot of other people recommended things. So I was like, you know what, let's just spin a wheel. So I spun a wheel. And that book won. And I said, you know what, I have to read it. And I opened book 1, and quite literally from page 1 of the prologue, I was like, I do not like this book. I will hate this book. What do you mean this 15-year-old is saying, I love the taste of smoke and cigarettes? I was like, I don't need this in my life. I genuinely don't need this in my life. I don't know anybody who does need this in their life. Now, I understand, right? I do want to talk about this, and I understand that books like this can be healing for people who have been through the same traumatic experiences that are being described in this book and that are being played out. Watching it from a third-party view instead of living it may help you come to certain realizations and certain epiphanies and other things like that, right? I just don't think the traumatic events that happen in this book, all of them needed to be all in the same fucking book. That's all I'm saying. They did not need to be all in the same fucking book. That was so uncomfortable to read. So aggressively uncomfortable to read. I was so sad. Did I finish the book? Yes. Because on principle, I had to finish the book. And I will never be reading a book like this ever again in my life. And before I spin another wheel and somebody else makes me read a book like this in my life. But out of my own volition, I will not be reading a book like this ever in my life. It is for some people, it is just not for me. Right? It is for some people, it is just not for me. So, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Y'all gotta read Seth Ring, guys. To me, Seth Ring is the GOAT of this literary RPG shit. To me. I've not read Matt Dinman's Dungeon Crawler Carl. I have not read that. To me, Seth Ring's a fucking GOAT, okay? Forge Master and Battle Mage Farmer were my first 2 literary RPG book stories ever. And in very, very, very typical intro fashion, I just read whatever I want. So, Battle Mage Farmer is about a dude who got isekai'd, who got transported to a different world, and was told that there's an apocalypse coming up. You're a mage. You have to win this war. Here are your quests. Here's your magic. Go. And we join John Sutton, who is the battle mage here, 10 years after coming into this world, after he's beaten everybody else. He's won the war. He's apparently some type of royalty or high class person, from what I gathered in book 1. I still don't know what he is. He's the goat of this shit, and we get to see him retire because his new quest, even though the apocalypse is still happening, his new quest is you must retire. Here's a farm with cattle. And now it's farming simulator, the game, with battle mage. It's so good. It's so funny. I fucking love it so much. I have to get back to it. I literally read book 1 and I went and bought all 9 of the rest of them. I bought all 8 of the rest of the books. So, I got reading ahead of me, bro. I got reading ahead of me. And the next one is Forge Master. Now, the thing here is, right, technically, the guy you see on the cover here, Thorn, the Titan right here, this series, Nova Terra, is the first generation, story arc of Thorn's life. This is the second one. I read him. This is the first book that I ever read of Seth Ring's, was right here, not knowing that there's a whole history of how Thorn became Thorn in this series. This is a 10-book series right here. I have so much reading ahead of me, bro. I have so much reading ahead of me. I will be absorbing all this stuff. I don't know how much I like Nova Terra Titan compared to Forge Master, because I fucking love Forge Master. It's the goat of this shit. But I think I'm going to try giving Titan an actual try and get through it, just to see, do I like the origin story, or would I rather read Forge Master and not really care about the history in the back? Usually I would never do that, but in this case, because I read how good Forge Master is, and I think his writing is so much better in Forge Master than it is in Nova Terra Titan, that it's just a more enjoyable place for me to start. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I am now. All right, now let's get down to brass tacks. All right, let's really talk about this. Okay, let me readjust myself here. Okay, we have to talk about 13 books. 13 books. Books that got me this pendant. Books that got me this business card. Okay, we got to talk about 13 motherfucking books. Okay, we got to talk about these 13 motherfucking books. Okay, so in May, I was like, I want to read some books, and on Kindle Unlimited, I just had these Arcanist books that just suggested to me, and I was like, you know what? I read the Amazon teaser. I checked them out. Oh my god! While I'm talking, I might as well just do the. Where's Nightmare Arcanist? Oh, there it is. Okay. I just got really upset that I forgot to put Nightmare Arcanist on this list. Okay, so I'm putting all these, and you must read these books. If you want to be my friend, if you want to be my friend, no, wait, how does it go? If you want to be my book friend, then you got to read these books. I really don't know why I do this. I don't know why y'all. Actually, I don't know why I come back. I really don't. I really don't know why I come back here. There's nothing for me here or for you here, but okay, let's talk about Arcanist. Okay, let's talk about the Frith Chronicles, which is this series, 8 books completed, and then we'll talk about the Astra Academy right here. You just have to read them. I did a whole video on these. I will do probably another video once the 2 series are finally done and I know how to make a good video essay. I will 100% be talking about these books in totality, in detail, and everything. But this is my second and third favorite series of 2025. It basically gave me the same feelings of the type of books that I would read when I would go to the public library when I was a young person, when I was a youth, when I was a child, a young teen even. And I would go to the public library, and you'd be scrolling the shelves, and you'd like pick up a book and you read it, like, oh, this is really nice, and you come back the next day to pick up the next book and things like that, or you pick up a couple of books at a time. That's what I imagine I would have loved to do with this series. If you've known the Septimus Heap series, right? Magic Flight and etc. All those things. Same vibes, same feeling of reading it, right? Reading the Pendragon series over again. It felt like I was reading all those books over again. Harry Potter, to an extent, felt like I was reading that again. Now, I read Harry Potter out of order, so I don't really get the actual experience. But if I had read Harry Potter, I would like. I can't go back and read those books for the first time, but I'm so glad I got to experience these books for the first time. I read each of these books in less than 24 hours, and I finished all 13 books in 13 days. I did not work. I did not do any household chores. I barely recorded content for you guys. If you guys remember, back in May, I read this on a flight. I went down to visit my family back in Texas, and I read this book while they were sitting around me in the living room. I read this at night up until 2 a.m. I would wake up with my wife in the morning, and she'd go to work, and I'd wake up and read this book before I had to go to work. I just absorbed, I inhaled this series. This series is also why I'm in a book slump. This series is also why I'm in a book slump. So I can't really do anything about that. But I love it so much. I love it so much, and I was yelling about the book so constantly with Shammy on Twitter, which I appreciate her entertaining all of my whims and like all of my like, you know, nonsense over on Twitter. I do appreciate authors that do that, and I end up loving like the ones that I'm yelling about on Twitter are the ones that I'm falling in love with. I did the same thing with Ascendant when I was reading it, tagging Michael R. Miller. I did the same thing with Echo Saga when I was reading it. I did the same thing with Black Talon. I DM'd Andy on Instagram. And with quite literally starting from Nightmare all the way to Abyssal Arcanist, I was just tagging Jamie Stovall in all my tweets. That's it. That's all I was doing. And she was very, very, very nice enough to send me a care package a couple of weeks ago after I made the video on her series, and one of them was this Frith Guild pendant, which I have not taken off. Quite literally, I just put it on one of the chains I had, and I haven't taken it off. And I don't plan to. I don't plan to take it off. This is like one of the favorite things I have ever received in my life. I don't plan to ever take this off. If it comes off my neck, it's being tied around my wrist. That's it. If it comes off my neck, I'm wearing it as an anklet. Right? You ever seen a man with an anklet? You will soon. If it ever comes off, if this ever comes off my neck, it's going on my bicep, like a bicep band. Like right here, it's going like right here. I am flexing. It's going like right here. That's what's gonna happen. Okay? I'm never taking this off. I'm never taking this off. So, yeah, that's basically that. I don't want to get into too much more detail about this series because I could probably talk about this series for like 4 hours. I will leave you with a bit of the premise is essentially this story, this magical story, is based on the premise of humans bonding with mystical creatures. And these are mystical creatures or creatures like that are just been throughout like our time and our lore. Chinese, Japanese, American, British, any type of creatures in any type of lore you've seen, they're in this book, and new ones, custom ones, like ones that I've never heard of in my life are in this book. And so I absolutely love it. I love the premise. I love the cast of characters. I love the creatures. I love the humans. I love the story. Main characters Volk Savin, main character Gray Lexley. Those are my fucking guys, right? I love them so much. And I really, really want this author to be in the hands of more people. I really want the books of this author to be in the hands of more people. I really do think her name should be plastered more across media. And I will try very hard to make that happen. And so that is Entro's definitive 2025.5 tier list. Let's go. Woo! Let's go. We did it. Boom. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love this. So this is my tier list for 2025.5. End of June. Starting in July, we'll be bringing out much more bangers. Hopefully you watched last week's episode where last week's video where I talked about the 7 books I'm looking forward to reading in the second half of 2025. Those are going to be some bangers. And yeah, that's about it. If you're new here, consider subscribing. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment. If you want to read along with anything that I'm reading or that my friends and I are reading, go ahead and join the Discord down below. I will catch you guys later. Peace.